did you finish that stuff I asked you to do?
Good morning, Liz. That work you asked me to do? I'm not really sure what you're referring to.
Are you for real? That Excel file I asked for. I have to submit that file to Mr. Johnston by noon. I told you to have it done by then. Don't you remember, for God's sake?
Yeah, okay. I've got a pile of Excel files I'm working on at the moment. Can you point me in the right direction?
It's the one for the new account. I wanted you to add that total sequence to the file.
Total sequence?
It's used to provide a shortcut to data in a spreadsheet or something. Come on, you don't even know that? I thought you said you could use Excel.
Oh, do you mean token sequencing?
Huh? Anyway, Mr. Johnston asked me about it this morning, so I left it on your desk. I asked you to do it, so just do it. Got it?
Liz?
Yeah, what is it?
It's Mr. Johnston's job to assign work to other staff members, not yours. You're just a normal employee like the rest of us. What's more, you've only been here for a month or so. Actually, I have more seniority than you. TBH, you're not in a position to be giving me orders.
Huh? You're not serious. You're a contract employee. Don't act like you run this place. Everyone knows that a full-time employee has way more say-so than some mere contract employee. Everyone knows that. A full-timer has way more seniority than contractors. So, as an official employee of this company, you, the contractor, do as I say. That make you one of my staff members that I can boss around. Simple as that. Besides, you've only been assigned to this section for like a month. Give me a break. You're like 100 years too early to boss me around. Have I made myself clear? If so, get that total whatever done by 3 p.m.
You mean that token sequencing function, right?
Yeah, whatever, same thing. I'll tell Mr. Johnston that I made the changes, so when you're done, put that file on my desk, would you? Hey, did you get it done?
Yes, finished it over an hour ago.
Huh? See? If you put your mind to it, you can get it done. Okay, so what I want you to do next is...
The customer list, right?
Huh?
I put together that list through Access and updated it to the latest version. Oh, and that PowerPoint presentation you wanted. That's all ready to go. I placed that all in the new accounts folder. Just input today's date and you'll find it. If you relay the info to Mr. Johnston, he can access and use it right away during the meeting.
Hold on a second. Do you mean to tell me you got all that done in the last 2 hours?
Yes, that's right. I'm sure I got everything that you asked for. There's nothing missing, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, right.
If there is nothing else, my shift is ending, so I gotta wrap things up.
Not so fast! You're still in company's time!
I'm sorry, my folks are in town this week, so I want to spend as much time with them as I can. I already informed the section chief about leaving early this week.
Oh, yeah, alright.
Actually, I was supposed to leave before noon, but...
Oh, it's my fault, huh? Is that what you're hinting at?
I didn't say that. So that's the story. I better get going.
Hey, good evening, Carol.
Oh, hey Liz. I'm currently off the clock. Is there something you need?
About those files for the allocation process for that Monday meeting?
Next Monday?
My boss just asked me for a bunch of additional files for that account we're working on. He apparently wants it by 11 a.m. for the meeting with clients in the afternoon. I think it was scheduled for 2 or so get that done ASAP. This is really urgent. Okay, I'm counting on you.
Liz, hold on a second.
Huh? Not more of that belly aching, I hope. You're working for me. I suggest you do exactly what I tell you to do. Got it?
I have no intention of belly aching, as you put it. It's just that Monday. I already took the morning off. I informed the company several weeks ago. As I said, my folks are in town and we will be attending a friend's reception. Those events tend to go on forever, so what's more, the reception is a couple of hours away. A pretty long drive. Figured I should take the morning off.
Huh? You're not serious. You're being a bit self-centered, don't you think?
Excuse me?
For Pete's sake, you've only been at this company for a month. You're just a new hire. You really have the gall to take time off so soon?
Well, regarding my work preferences, I confirmed the company policy beforehand. I would not have taken the job if I wasn't free to choose my schedule. Besides, there is no company policy that I know of that says a contract worker can't take time off, even after a month of being hired.
Yeah, well, it may not be a company policy, but it's just common sense. Even if you're allowed to take time off, most employees won't, out of courtesy to the company.
Not sure about that. I think you're way off. There are certain labor laws. I doubt the company wants to run afoul of such laws.
Huh? What are you, a lawyer?
Maybe 10 or 20 years ago. That kind of thinking may have been the norm, but with a new and younger administration, work environment has changed drastically. There is no more working overtime out of obligation to the company. Recent labor laws are very beneficial to workers, you know, and that goes for both full-time employees as well as contract workers like myself.
Well, there may be such a policy in place, but we ignore that for the good of the company.
Didn't you take a week off to go on that vacation last week? What you're saying and your actions don't seem to coincide.
Don't give me that! I really can't believe you, Carol. You've only been here for a month, and you talk like some know-it-all professor or something. So cheeky.
Well, anyway, I'm busy on Monday. I did everything by the book, and the company confirmed that it's okayed, so I have no intention of changing that.
Hold on a second, Carol.
If the boss assigned you the job, I suggest you take care of it. After all, it's your job.
No, I can't accept that. You be here early Monday morning. I expect those files by 11 a.m. Got it? I have every right to assign you this work. I'm a full-time employee here. You work for me.
Am I hearing you right? I mean, really? Are you being serious?
Of course I'm serious. You are really slow to catch on. It's common knowledge in this day and age. A full-time employee is way higher in stature than some part-time contractor like you. Let me put it real simple, so you understand. I am a full-time employee, which makes you my underling. So any job I assign you, that's coming from your superior.
Okay, I get it. That's how you perceive your current position at the company.
Yeah, I mean, it's common sense. You don't do what I say, and I have no other choice but to tell the boss and the other managers that you're an incompetent worker. Hey, Carol, pick up! Why aren't you here? You're supposed to be here in the office at 8 a.m. sharp. Come on, stop ignoring me! How many times did I tell you to be here? You know what this means, right? This is your boss. I'm giving you an order. Pick up!
Oh, Liz, good morning.
It's about time. Where the hell were you? Do you realize it's after 9 a.m.?
Yes, of course. What about it?
Where the hell are you?
I just pulled off to the side of the road to answer your text.
And so what time are you planning on arriving today?
I'm still on the road back. No way I can make it in the morning.
Are you out of your mind? What are you planning to do about those files I asked you to do? I told you to get those done by 11 a.m. Don't tell me you forgot.
I've said this countless times. I took the morning off. The office is aware of it.
Yeah, and I told you countless times. Your boss is telling you to do your job. I never gave you permission to take time off.
Well, you know what? I think you should take this up with your boss and see what he has to say about it.
Huh?
You can say you assigned your contract worker to do a specific job. She snobbishly turned you down. Really simple if you think about it, don't you agree? And you can add that you, as my immediate boss, commanded me to do a job, but I said I took the morning off and failed to show up. Then you could ask him what you should do about those files. That makes sense, huh? Seems like the only option you have.
Well, I could, but...
If that's all, I gotta get back on the road.
Wait, hold on a second.
I've already wasted time pulling over. I have to get my dad to drive since I have some spreadsheets to work on.
Spreadsheets? Does it mean you have the PC with you? Then why don't you start working on those files?
Sorry, goodbye.
Don't you dare cut me off! Carol, pick up! This is all your fault! Answer, for God's sake!
Hello, can I help you?
I thought you were coming to the office in the afternoon.
I am at the office. At the main office.
Main office? You're just a part-timer. What are you doing there? This is no time to be screwing around. This is all your fault. Do you realize the trouble you've caused?
Trouble? Me?
Those files I asked you to do. I couldn't get them in on time for the meeting.
Oh yeah, those files. Another staff member got those done in time for the meeting.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about?
Well, about the work you've been assigning me, I reported all that to Mr. Johnston, your boss. He took a look at the workload and reassigned the work to me and the other staffers.
Huh?
So regarding those additional files, Mr. Johnston knew I was taking the morning off, so he reassigned that to another staffer, who subsequently got it done in time, so no worries.
You've got to be kidding me! What the hell are you doing going directly to my boss? You're just a lowly contractor. You have no right to do that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If I was a lowly contractor, I would never be able to do that. You're certainly correct about that.
What the hell are you blabbering about?
My boss gave me permission. I'm going to be straight with you, Liz.
What? What is it?
I just recently joined the HR department as a full-time employee.
HR?
I'm also related to the company president.
The president?
You know what? We're actually the same. New employees.
Wait, hold on a sec. What's going on here? What are you even talking about?
Well, it seems that section you're working in, apparently 5 staffers had quit in the last year. The main office thought it was strange and wanted to investigate why. Obviously, they had to get to the bottom of it. They chose me as a new employee and somebody nobody knew to work there as a contractor. My job was to monitor the situation and work environment of our section to determine the cause.
Not sure what you're getting at. What's that got to do with me?
Simply put, I was assigned by the main office to investigate your department.
Investigate?
I was able to monitor the environment of your department for the past month, and I did feel the entire atmosphere of the office seems a bit too relaxed. But the main problem was you, Liz. You were the main problem.
Me? What did I do that was so terrible?
Do you really not know?
All I've been doing is working and doing a good job of it, for your information.
The main problem was your brash attitude towards contracted workers. You even said it to me. A full-timer has way more seniority than contractors, and that I was your staff member.
Yeah, well, that was because...
Your thinking on such matters is completely mistaken. And regarding all that work you've been forcing onto other staffers, the reason is because you don't have a full grasp of how to use the software. We all know your educational background. Well, subsequently, we pressed your current boss and another manager about their relationship with you, and lo and behold, it seems they were regular customers at Starlight Lounge downtown, where you worked. We found that you had relations with them, and in exchange for your services, they promised you a full-time job at this company. Am I leaving anything out?
Hold it a second. How could you know?
And this relationship is still ongoing. For your information, Mr. Johnston and the other managers spilled the beans about this relationship and how you landed this job.
You can't be serious. This is not happening.
This is a problem. A big problem for our company. It goes completely against our strict compliance policies.
Can't we work something out?
Regarding you and the others, a judgment has already been made regarding this unfortunate situation.
This is not happening!
The manager of the HR department is on his way there to relay the consequences regarding this matter.
What's going on?
Actually, I'm typing this online in the cab. I'm headed over there right now.
You've got to be kidding me, right?
All right then, I will talk to you later. When we arrived at the office, all the people involved gathered into one of the meeting rooms. It seems Liz was working at the Starlight Lounge as a hostess to pay off her ex-husband after their divorce. Well, she managed to pay off her debt, but now needed a full-time job. Not just any job, but a stable office job. So she curried favor with those guys and landed a job in the company. As a consequence, these guys were demoted to mere office workers. What's more, they were transferred to far-off company affiliates. As for Liz, it was determined her educational background and computer skills were severely lacking, and as a result, she was subsequently fired. Mr. Johnston's wife obviously found out about the whole affair and demanded a divorce, and I hear he had to pay a significant amount as compensation. The head of the HR department's last words to Liz were, "Education and computer skills are important if you want to land a good position." Not really sure if she took it to heart, though.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Vanessa! Where are you? Answer now! Vanessa! Oh, hello. It's been a while. And why is that? Oh, I remember! Because you haven't messaged me for 2 whole goddamn months! Good grief, young lady. Huh? Don't give me huh! I don't need to hear attitude from you! I still, you see, got no awareness of the fact that you're a wife of this household. No, but when your mother-in-law kindly goes out of her way to message you, you put whatever you're doing aside and respond immediately. That's one of the rules you live by as my son's wife. If you understand, please be more mindful next time. I am not done speaking yet. Quit your butting in and listen to what your mother-in-law has to say. Oh. Firstly, I recently saw a new apartment you two got together for the first time. The place you went to live after you moved out. Our new apartment? And my God! You haven't been doing the housework at all, have you? The room was filthy. There were clothes scattered all over the floor and tissues left tossed all over the place. You didn't even wash the pots and pans. I've never seen such a sorry state. How can you call that place a home? There were sweet wrappers and ready meal hamburger boxes overflowing out of the garbage all over the floor. Not to mention the mountain of empty beer cans on the table. My little Timmy doesn't drink alcohol, so they could only be yours. They were, weren't they? Admit it! No, I have allergies and come out in rashes when I drink alcohol. Be quiet, young lady. I did not give you permission to speak. Oh, sorry. To top it all off, the place was caked in dust. You haven't been vacuuming at all, have you? I only allowed you to continue working after you got married because you said you'd have no problem juggling your work with the housework. But if you're not capable of looking after your husband, I suggest you resign immediately so you can focus on your womanly duties. This is why women should be stay-at-home housewives once they married. Are you finished now? What? You appear to be making a lot of misconceptions, so allow me to correct you. Don't talk back to me, young lady. Me and Tim are already divorced. Yes, I'm aware of that. Huh? If you know, why are you throwing around words like mother-in-law and wife? Why wouldn't I? Come on, Vanessa. Please use your brain for once. Even if you're divorced, as long as you and my little Timmy are living together, you're still his wife, and you still have a role to fulfill in our family. It's your sacred duty and obligation to serve your husband with devotion and loyalty, and to display the proper respect towards me, your mother-in-law. Do you have any idea how little sense what you're saying makes? The fact that we're divorced already makes us strangers now. We stopped being a couple and started leading separate lives the moment the divorce was finalized. Which is why any notion that I have to look after or fulfill my womanly duties towards him are ridiculous. Plain and simple. I already warned you, young lady. Don't talk back to your mother-in-law. I'm not talking back. I'm having a normal conversation with you like a reasonable human being. Reasonable? Which part? Let me say it once more. I'll make it crystal clear this time to help you understand. Any woman who doesn't look after her husband is a failure of a wife. If you can't keep on top of the housework while working, then hurry up and quit your job already. How about I contact your company and tell them you've decided to step down to focus on being a housewife? No, stop it. I don't think there's any danger of them taking a resignation declared by some stranger over the phone seriously. But I don't want to cause them any inconvenience. Then just quit now while you still have got some dignity left. Let's face it, after seeing how lazy you are at home, you're probably a burden to them too. I'm not a burden, actually. I'm a high-valued employee, and besides, if I want to quit, I wouldn't be able to make ends meet. Oh, don't talk such nonsense. Are you seriously saying that my little Timmy's salary alone isn't enough to keep you going? But I already told you, we're not living that kind of life together anymore. I think what you meant to say is that you're a shameful disappointment of a wife. Looking after the household by skillfully managing the finances is a wife's duty. But we already divorced, and I'm not his wife anymore. How many times do I have to say it? Lord, give me strength. Give it a rest. You're like a broken record. Just because you're divorced doesn't mean you can start neglecting the housework and living like swamp rats. Oh, my poor Timmy. In that case, you're wasting your time. I live in a different state now. What? My company offered me a transfer as soon as the divorce went through. So I took them up on it and moved out of the state. Good grief! A wife who goes off on solo business ventures away from her family? I've never heard anything so absurd in my life! Like I told you, I'm not your son's wife anymore, and you're not my family. Quit your job and come back immediately. Huh? That said, I may be firm, but I'm also kind, which is why I'm willing to grant you some leeway. Common sense dictates the resignation procedures usually take about a month, so I'm very kindly willing to give you 30 days to make the necessary arrangements and come back. I'll look after little Timmy in the meantime. So hurry up and quit your job, and move back here so you can be by your side again. I told you, we're divorced. Quit talking nonsense! Now you're just arguing for argument's sake, young lady! Nonsense? You heard me! Hey, Tim. It's been a while. Is now a good time for you?
Is that Vanessa? Hey! Yeah, long time no see.
Sorry to message you despite us being divorced and all.
That's cool. Don't sweat it. It's not like we divorced because we don't get along. Maybe things will change when one of us finds someone else, but for the time being, there's no reason we can't message each other.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Thanks.
Anyway, what's up?
I want to speak to you about your mom.
Huh? My mom? She's not causing problems again, is she? Darn it.
Well, you could say she's causing problems. It's more that she doesn't listen to a word I say. It's like talking to a brick wall.
What happened?
Well, to sum it up, even if you're divorced, as long as you two live together, you're Tim's wife. And as long as you're his wife, you need to look after him. If you can't keep on top of the housework while working, then quit your job. That's basically the gist of it.
What did you say to her?
I told her that me and you are strangers since we divorced, and I keep insisting I'm not your wife anymore. So I have no obligation to do any of that. But she just keeps coming back at me with her favorite, I know you may be divorced, however, yada yada yada. The conversation goes nowhere because she ignores everything I say on a fundamental level. I give up.
Wow. I see she's just as stubborn and pig-headed as usual.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Just like always, she refers to you as her little Timmy. It's like you're an 8-year-old kid to her.
I'm a grown man, for crying out loud. Please, that's enough. This isn't good for my mental health.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does this still upset you?
Well, about that. As soon as our divorce went through, my dad also moved out, and now my parents are living separately.
Whoa, seriously?
Ever since then, her over-interfering in my life reached levels previously unimaginable. It got so bad I couldn't take it anymore. I was so desperate to get away from her. I sneaked out of the house in the middle of the night a week ago so I could finally be free of her.
I see. Sounds like it's been tough for you too, Tim.
My mom was the reason we divorced in the first place, after all. I felt so guilty about you having to put up with her. I thought at least if we divorced, you'd be able to escape from it all. But even that didn't work, did it? It would seem I underestimated her.
I'm fine, really. Don't worry about me. Actually, I got a transfer at the company, and I'm living far away in a different state now. There's no danger of her following me and causing me problems. In fact, she couldn't possibly.
Oh, really? I'm pleased to hear that.
More importantly, what about you, Tim? If anything, it sounds like things might be more difficult on your end.
Me?
Well, you see, your mom insisted she was gonna go over and start looking after you, since I was failing to fulfill my womanly duties towards you, what with working all the time. Which means she must know your current address?
What? But I didn't tell her!
Really? Based on the messages yesterday, I kinda got the impression she was already at your apartment. Is there a chance she found your new address somehow and sneaked in while you weren't home?
No. I really don't think that's possible.
You sure?
I got a transfer at work the other day too. I'm staying at a company-provided dormitory right now. The rules state that non-employees aren't allowed to enter without permission under any circumstances, even visiting family members. It's a long way from Mom's house. I don't think she could make it this far out, even if she did know my address.
I see. Huh.
Yeah. It's a mystery.
You can say that again.
Well, whatever. It's not like she can actually do anything to me.
You don't mind?
I have absolutely no intention of going back to the family home. I don't even read her messages these days. To be honest, I was thinking of blocking her soon. She can do what she likes. It's not my problem anymore. After everything that went down, for the sake of my mental health, I resolved never to tolerate her shenanigans ever again.
I see.
It's probably for the best you block her too, Vanessa. I may be her son, but you two are literally strangers now, so there's no reason you should have to put up with her irritating messages.
You make a good point. I couldn't help but feel a little wary about what she was planning on doing next. But actually, after keeping an eye on her a little while longer just to be safe, I think I'm gonna block her.
I think it's for the best. Anyway, I'm about to jump in the bath.
Sure. Thanks for today, Tim. Night-night.
Good night.
Vanessa! Answer! What the hell's going on? You've got some explaining to do. What do you mean? Some strange woman walked in while I was cleaning little Timmy's room. She yelled, "Who are you? What are you doing in my apartment?" Before I could even figure out what was going on, some middle-aged guy bolted in. They started shouting like crazed lunatics and threatened to call the police. They were saying such awful things to me, Vanessa. It was horrible! I was so startled, I ran to the bathroom and locked myself in. What's going on? Explain! Oh, no you didn't. Goodness me. There's no way. You didn't by chance enter a complete stranger's house, did you? Huh? Where are you right now? In the apartment in Anderby Town. What? Oh my god. That's not the room in the tower block called Comfort Heights, is it? Tell me it isn't! Yes, it is! What of it? Room 202! I came to clean this filthy mess of a room for my little Timmy since you were too busy playing the important office lady to fulfill your womanly duties. You and little Timmy are living together here, right? Why do you think that? Because there were 2 sets of plates and cutlery. But then this happened. I have no idea what's going on. Listen, Judy, that apartment you're in right now belonged to my aunt, who let me stay with her for about 10 days after me and Tim finished with the divorce proceedings. Wait, what? Your aunt? However, my aunt moved out a month ago. Based on what you're telling me, it seems like some new people moved in. But that doesn't make any sense! I found this address in my little Timmy's room. It was written in a notepad I found on his desk. He probably wrote it down when I told him where I was staying. Huh? I had a lot of stuff when I moved out, but I didn't want to hang around and get in his way for too long, so he said if I forgot anything, he'd send it later on in the post. Which is why I told him I'd be staying at my aunt's till the end of the month, and sent him her address. He probably just forgot to toss his old notepad in the trash. How can this be? I thought he wrote down his new address for me so I could come and see him. Oh my god. The only reason I didn't try following him when he disappeared in the night is because I thought knowing his address, I could go and see him whenever I wanted. If this isn't his apartment, where's my little Timmy right now? Tell me now. Nope, sorry. I don't even know myself. I know you're lying. What kind of wife doesn't know where her husband lives? That just doesn't happen. Like I said, me and your son are no longer married. And like I said, even if you are divorced... Want to know the reason why we got divorced, Judy? Because of you! What? Me? Tim hates how you meddle in his life all the time. He told me you've been babying him and interfering with basically everything he ever done since he was a teenager. Then, when we married, you started acting like some kind of dictator trying to turn me into his personal slave. I was to cater to his every whim at all times, regardless of what I wanted. He blamed himself and his mental health took a turn for the worst. He stopped eating. He could barely sleep. He became a shell of his old self because of what you were putting me through. After a long, difficult decision, me and him decided that a divorce would be the best way to reduce the burden on both of us. So that's where we are now. Oh my god! I just wanted my cherished, beloved Timmy to be happy! Is that a crime? He's the one who said he hates you interfering. You drove your son to the emotional and psychological brink with your psychotic behavior. Does that sound like happiness to you? Oh my god! What is this? I didn't even... Anyway, is everything alright? What do you mean? I seem to remember you saying something about being locked in a stranger's bathroom. This is bad! I can hear police cars outside! That tends to happen when you illegally enter strangers' homes. Firstly, as for how my ex-mother-in-law managed to get into a stranger's apartment, it turned out the couple who were living in there forgot to lock the door when they both went out for work, so she was able to creep in unnoticed. She found a key they left out on the table and took it upon herself to have a copy made at a local locksmith. She returned to the empty apartment for several consecutive days while its inhabitants worked. where she continued diligently looking after her son. Eventually, she ran into the poor, unsuspecting couple one day as they came back from work. Naturally, she caused the police a major nuisance when they were swiftly dispatched to deal with a strange woman hiding in our bathroom. The incident ultimately ended up being the straw that broke the camel's back when my ex-father-in-law, from whom she had been living separately, finally divorced her. Apparently, she broke down into tears screaming, "I don't want to be alone!" Not even knowing where her beloved little Timmy had moved away to. Her own parents were no longer around, and she didn't have a soul in the world to rely on. Thus began her life alone. Now I'm living happily in an apartment my company provided for me when I transferred. I did get one last message before I blocked her, bemoaning how she cries herself to sleep every night because of me. Oh well.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hi, it's been a while.
Oh, is that my Indy? It really has been a long time. I was worried, darling. You haven't messaged me in almost half a year. How are you? Are you eating properly? Is work going all right?
Yeah, it's not too bad, I guess. I'm still only in my second year at the company, so there's always new stuff to remember. That's why I've been too busy to message you.
Really? That sounds tough. Be careful you don't overwork yourself. I don't want you getting sick, sweetie. Are you okay for money? What about rice and vegetables? Do you have enough? I can send you some money or food parcels if you like. Just say the word and it's done. I can't afford to give you lots, but I'll send whatever I can.
Nah, I'm fine. I have a job and make my own money now. Besides, I can buy my own rice and vegetables. You don't have to go out of your way to send me anything. I'm fine on my own. I don't really eat much of that sort of these things anyway.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm really happy to hear you're doing well, honey. But if you ever do need anything, you will tell me, won't you? I'd really like it if you just showed your face at the house sometimes, too. Even if it's just for Christmas and birthdays. I miss you, you know?
Listen, Mom, I have something more important to talk about. Do you mind if we change the subject?
Oh, of course. Look at me getting all overexcited not letting you get a word in edgeways. Of course, honey. Go ahead. What is it?
Well, it's like this. I'm getting married.
What? Married?
Yeah, to my boyfriend. We met at a work party. That was a year ago, though. We've been dating ever since. I never told you about him.
Wow, Indy. I can't believe it. I'm so happy for you. I can't tell you how much this means to me. I'll admit I'm a little surprised, but let me assure you, I'll be celebrating for you tonight with a glass of red.
The wedding's planned for 6 months from now, but the thing is, I don't want you to come.
What?
My fiancé is the son of a very rich man who runs a major company. He's intelligent, has a great personality, is good at his job. He's just amazing. I couldn't ask for more. His parents, too. They're kind, always look smart and well-dressed, are stinking rich, and are just all-around wonderful people. I'd be so ashamed to admit to such a decent, respectable people that I was raised in a single-mother household. To tell you the truth, just the thought of them finding out makes me feel sick. That's why I told them I have no parents, and don't know a single one of my relatives.
Indy, why are you saying these things? Why would you do that? Oh my god.
I've always hated you. You're scruffy and unkempt. You have no fashion sense. You slave away at your minimum wage job to bring home what amounts to nothing more than pocket change. I hated that cheap, shabby old house we lived in, too. I could never bring friends over because I felt so embarrassed. I hated it all.
What?
I had to endure so much, and the moment I tried to complain, I was told that it just couldn't be helped because we were poor. My clothes and school supplies were always either secondhand or handouts from people in the neighborhood. Throughout my whole childhood, I don't remember ever being bought anything that was actually new. You never came to sports days or parent evenings because you always had to put so many hours in that crappy job of yours. I was so lonely. I felt absolutely pathetic.
It's true. I was always busy with work, and you did have to endure things most other children didn't. which meant I didn't always have the time to give you the attention you deserved, and I understand that must have made you feel very isolated and lonely. I accept everything you say. I'm so sorry, Indy, truly I am. But all of it, everything I did was so that one day I could afford to send you to a good college. I did it all with your future in mind. I did it because I wanted you to lead a happy, fulfilling life.
I never asked you to do any of that for me. This is just patronizing. You put me through all that and then have the nerve to act like you were doing me a favor?
Indy.
I guess I am grateful that you sent me to a good college. It did mean I was deprived of a normal childhood, though. I'd either be stuck in my room studying or out working part-time while all my friends were out having fun and meeting people. Without going to college, I wouldn't have landed my current job or met my fiancé. I guess all things considered, on balance, I am willing to call it even. That means there's no ill will, but no positive sentiment either, a flat zero. I guess that makes us more or less strangers. I think it's time for me to cut you out of my life.
Cut me out of your life? Why?
I'm gonna be the wife of the CEO of a major company before long. That means I'm moving up in the world. You, on the other hand, are still broke, still working that crappy job, still in that decrepit old house. How can I let people know you're my mom? It's embarrassing. Me and you are a mismatch. Socially, financially, we just don't mesh. You get me? That's why I'm cutting you out of my life. Never attempt to contact me again. This is my chance to finally be happy and live the life I always dreamed of. Don't you dare get in my way.
I see. If that's what you want, Indy, then there's nothing I can say. It's your life and you should live it as you see fit. But please, just remember that I'm about to tell you. Your mother will always love you, and I wish for you nothing but happiness.
Who are you? I don't have a mom. Hey. How's it going? It's Indy.
Indy, it's been forever. It must have been, what, 2 years by now? How have you been? How's married life? Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, thanks. Listen, there's something I want to let you know, or rather ask of you.
Oh, of course. There's something I want to let you know too, Indy. I'm getting remarried.
Huh?
You see, I felt like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders after you went off to live your life. I suddenly felt filled with energy. So I committed to building a new life for myself. I started going to a local ballroom dance club in the neighborhood last year. I've been toying with the idea of giving it a try since forever, but I was so busy with work I never really got the chance.
You? Ballroom dancing?
I know, right? I had my doubts about it working out at my age too. But when I plucked up the courage and actually went, I had a whale of a time. I made lots of friends there too. Now we all go out for drinks regularly. Anyway, me and one of my dance partners started getting along really well. We realized we had the same interests, similar personalities. His name's Donald Silverstein. His wife passed away 3 years ago, and all of his children have flown the nest and have their own lives to lead now. So he currently lives on his own. After we hit it off at the dance club, he invited me out to dinner. Then we got together, and after we dated for a while, he got down on one knee, popped the question, and asked if I'd do him the honor of spending the rest of my life with him. Isn't it just amazing? That's why, from next year onward, I'll be called Louise Silverstein.
Just hold on a sec. Does Donald by any chance have a really, really big house? Or should I say a mansion? 3 floors, acres of garden complete with tennis courts and fountains? Huge, grand, and magnificent?
Huh? How did you know? You're right, though. That's my Donald you're talking about. I actually went to his house for the first time recently after he proposed to me. It really is as amazing as you say. I almost fainted when I saw the gold-encrusted chandeliers. Luckily, his butler noticed I looked woozy and offered me a seat.
His daughter was one of my classmates. Abigail Silverstein was her name. She tried to keep it on the down low, but everyone knew her dad was filthy rich. Word around school was he was a billionaire.
If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably true. But I'm not marrying Donald for his money. It was his kindness and loyalty that I fell for. Neither of us are exactly spring chickens anymore, and we decided not to go into the trouble of having a wedding. But Donald will be holding a big dinner at his place. All of his kids will be there, so I get to meet everyone while we all celebrate the occasion with some food and drinks.
Really? Actually, this is perfect. Make sure you send me, my husband, and his parents an invite to the dinner, okay?
What? Why?
Well, the thing is, my husband found out about you. He found out I was lying about not having any parents. He also knows I was raised by a single mother and that I broke off contact with you. Him and his parents were furious when they found out. How could you be so cruel to your poor mother after she worked so hard to send you to college? You disgust me, to quote my husband.
Really? I see.
Now, him and his parents are giving me the cold shoulder. And the image of the perfect bride I worked so hard to cultivate was smashed to pieces in an instant. Nothing's been the same since. He says he doesn't even know whether he wants to carry on. Divorce was mentioned. That's why I want me and you to build some bridges. Actually, that's why I messaged you today.
Build some bridges? By that, I take it you mean you want to reconcile and have me back in your life.
Yeah, that's it. Let's do that. I need my husband and his parents to see that me and you patch things up and have a normal relationship. They have to know you forgave me too. That part's important. I think I can make them see that. He'll stop thinking about divorce. Besides, if you're married now, I'm not so embarrassed about introducing you anyway. Especially now you bagged yourself a billionaire. If anything, I'm actually excited. You're gonna score me some major points by having a husband that rich. Plus, I think me being related to someone like Donald can only be a good thing. Now that I think about it, the merits are endless. So what do you think? You'll invite us, won't you? Pretty please, with a cherry on top? Think of it as helping your daughter out.
Oh, Indy, you see, the thing is, you're not my problem anymore.
Huh? What does that mean?
It means no. Why should I let you use my wedding dinner to get you out of being divorced? Me and Donald aren't your own personal tools to be used and manipulated as you see fit. You're an adult now. You have a job. You're married. You're well past the age where I fix your problems for you. You got yourself into this mess, so how about you get yourself out of it? You can't go relying on your mommy forever.
No, wait, please. Why not?
What do you mean, why not? Because you reap what you sow, Indy. Liars always get found out. I mean, seriously, what did you expect to happen when you told your husband and his family you were an orphan? This was inevitable. And isn't it just a tad selfish of you to expect me to come crawling back to you the moment it suits you? After you cut me out of your life to present some phony, made-up image of yourself to your new family. I'd be embarrassed to introduce a daughter as shallow as you to my Donald.
Oh my god, if you don't invite us, he might divorce me. All you have to do is let us show our faces for a few minutes. We'll leave after you meet him and his parents, I swear. Didn't you say you wish for nothing but happiness for me?
It's true, I certainly did say that, and it's still true. But it's ultimately just that, a wish. I never once said I'd have anything to do with you again. Happiness is something you have to obtain on your own.
Oh my god, come on, I'm begging you here. Do you have any idea how much trouble I'll be in if he divorces me? How hard I worked to get to where I am today? I finally managed to marry into money after all these years. This can't be how it ends. It can't! Mom, please, I'm begging you.
Who are you again? I'm terribly sorry, but I forgot.
What are you talking about, Mom? We were talking normally until just now. Mom!
Mom? Oh, that's strange. I don't have a daughter.
Indy messaged me non-stop after that, but I completely ignored her. She showed no sign of giving up, so I had no choice but to block her in the end. I sold the house to move in with Donald, and with that, the cutting of ties was complete. After that, I got a message from Indy's husband. It said, "Please forgive me and my family for our rudeness. We would have contacted you immediately had we known about you." I thought it was a nice apology. Indy's relationship fell apart over the whole lying about being an orphan thing. Eventually, just as she feared, her husband divorced her. He kicked her out in the streets, and she had no choice but to move into the cheap old apartment she stayed back in college. Her standard of living was suddenly in the gutter, and with her life crashing and burning before her eyes, she was forced into long hours of overtime to keep up with the rent and student loan repayments. I also apologized to her ex-husband for the stress and inconvenience my daughter had caused him and his family. Since then, I haven't had contact with Indy, or anyone involved with Later. A year later, me and Donald tied the knot. He and his kids are just darlings who are so very kind to me. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, and I'm filled with optimism for the future.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.